If he plays his cards correctly, Mikel Arteta could be the first man to hit a heavy one on Arne Slot's Liverpool. When both teams meet at the Emirates, it will see the runners-up from the last 2 seasons taking on the runners-up from the season before. Arne Slot's Liverpool have had an incredible start to the season, but it's only because they haven't faced opposition like Arsenal yet. When Arteta's men are in their rhythm, they're unbeatable. Arteta's got his work cut out. This is supposed to be the year they kick on and finally finish it by taking the title away from perennial winners Man City. Still, with the results in recent games, there have been doubts about whether they'll be able to repeat the title charge from last season. There won't be any better way for Arteta to silence these critics than with a tactical masterclass against the league leaders. The game against Chelsea was a nervy 2-1 win for the Reds, and that result showed a lot of insight into how top teams can find a way past the best defence in the league. Liverpool has steamrolled their way under Arne Slot to the top of the league. They have the best defence in the league, even though Slot's team are still adjusting to the new playing style. However, they've had a couple of nervy results so far. A 2-1 win at Wolves, a 1-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest,
Hudson-Odoi single-minded and scores!
And that 2-1 win at Chelsea.
Great ball in, it should be a goal, it is a goal.
For all of Arne Slot's good work so far, if you're Mikel Arteta watching this, then you realise you can beat them. The system Arne Slot uses at Liverpool means a high-pressing position-based game, quite similar to what Klopp used to do. Slot wants his team to keep the ball as much as possible. He emphasises control over constant attack. And while Liverpool has been able to do this for most of the games they've played this season, there have been multiple occasions where they've taken control out of the way and gone for the win direct. The stats against the Blues showed it. Chelsea dominated possession at Anfield. Now, there could be arguments that Arne Slot rested players like Alexis McAllister and Luis Diaz, but even with that, against a young Chelsea team with vastly inexperienced players, Liverpool had a shaky start. The possession count showed 42.7% to Chelsea's 57.3%. For context, that's the lowest they've had in possession figures so far under Arne Slot. For a couple of spells in the match, Chelsea had them on the ropes. Slot's new-look Liverpool team went back to the old Liverpool. The best chances they created in game were off counter-attacks. Even Chelsea's manager Enzo Maresca was proud of his team's defeat. No lies detected, the first time seeing a Liverpool team having to defend for large spells in their own half. Can Arsenal replicate this? To answer, we need to understand what exactly Chelsea did. He's been one of the best players under Arne Slot so far, but in the game against Chelsea, Ryan Gravenberch was quiet. Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia had a cracking game against Liverpool, and that's because they outworked and outmuscled that Liverpool midfield to a large extent. With players like Declan Rice and Thomas Partey, it's very much possible that Mikel Arteta can replicate the same midfield structure for Arsenal. And if they can, then the game at the Emirates could become a very difficult one for Slot's team. Possession wasn't the only thing Chelsea had over Liverpool at Anfield. They looked the more dangerous too. 12 attempts to Liverpool's 8. The major difference was that where Chelsea failed to find shots on target with only 2, Liverpool's 5 on target featured 2 clinical chances they converted to goals. Point is, Chelsea had a barrage at Liverpool's defence, and not meaning to undermine or take anything from Chelsea's attack, but the players Arteta's got in attack are to a large extent better. Imagine players like Bukayo Saka or Leandro Trossard having regular props at Liverpool's goal. Sooner or later, they'd have to concede. When it gets down to controlling the ball, the game at the Emirates would be a very cagey battle, and Arteta's team might have the right balance to edge it. Both philosophies are quite similar. Arsenal wants to control the game, and Liverpool wants to do the same as well. The key to this change, which could work in Arsenal's favour, is when Liverpool decides to press. As we've seen under Arne Slot, Liverpool press in a system now. The front 2 make curved runs to almost trap the opposition on either flank, and the midfield pushes up to make the press high. With Mikel Arteta though, Arne Slot's Liverpool team could very well struggle. See, Arsenal likes to press high, meaning they attempt to win the ball high up the pitch. It starts with a high build-up, and with a coordinated backline like the one they have, full of ball-playing defenders, Arteta's Arsenal team could very well beat the Liverpool press with either a simple ball over the top or playing their way out of it. Arteta's tactics involve clever movement. Goals like Havertz's own show they're willing to push, beat the press or find pockets in the opposition's defence. The use of smart movements down the wings will also be key against the Liverpool team we've seen look nervy when it gets to one-on-one defending down the flanks. Andy Robertson struggled to keep up with Nonso Madueke in the first half versus Chelsea, and in the second half when he came up, Pedro Neto put in a real test against Trent Alexander-Arnold. It'll most likely be these two who start as fullbacks for Liverpool in the trip to Arsenal, and they won't be as new to Arsenal's wing threat down both flanks. We've seen Gabriel Martinelli get the better of Trent Alexander-Arnold on occasions, and seen Bukayo Saka find pockets of space past Andy Robertson. You wouldn't put it past them to repeat the same, and if they can, it's open grass against Liverpool centre-backs. Under Arne Slot, the Reds have improved. They're more compact now, and this means they like to keep a narrow shape to help create passing lanes and not to be exposed as they were last season. For Arteta and Arsenal to beat this, they need creative players who can unlock the highest of defences. And in that area, they've got key players who can do a job on Liverpool going forward. It's very hard to mention anything positive about Arsenal without mentioning this guy, Martin Odegaard. He's the type of player who picks the pass before the pass. And against a Liverpool defence that looks solid and compact, his vision will be key. So you've made it to this stage of the video so far. Awesome. Don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button too down below. Back to Odegaard now, and he's the one that makes that midfield tick. His 5 key passes in the league rank him in the 85th percentile. 9 dribbles completed with a dribble average of 3.19 dribbles per 90 ranks him in the 88th percentile, and his 5 successful dribbles so far ranks him in the 91st percentile in the league. Once again, he'll be key to Arteta's plan in getting one over Slot's Liverpool team. This next guy will too as well. Think about it, Liverpool has had it difficult against wingers with tricks and pace this season. Rafael Leo gave this Liverpool backline nervy moments. Or, in Slot's only defeat of the season versus Nottingham Forest, Callum Hudson-Odoi made the difference. Again, the emphasis here is that wingers with a bit of trickery and invention can have a pop at Liverpool's fullbacks, and Bukayo Saka is the perfect combination of both. Saka has got the most assists in the league this season, and his goal contribution at 1.42 per 90 ranks him in the 99th percentile for goal contributions this season. He's also completed 29 dribbles as well, which make him just as effective in creating goal-scoring chances down the right wing as he is getting past his opponents, and he will track back too. I'll get to how important this is in Arteta's master plan, but now it's to another guy who could very well make a huge difference at the Emirates against Slot's team. He's most times been seen in the light of the pairing with William Saliba in defence, but after his red card versus Bournemouth, Saliba won't be available to face the Reds, and the spotlight falls heavy on Gabriel now. He's one heck of a defender, very aggressive in the tackle, but this season, especially from set pieces as we've seen so far, Gabriel is a goal threat.
Corner comes in, it's a really good one, it's in! Gabriel's got his head to it!
What's more, it was only a few seasons back when he was doing the same against Liverpool at Anfield.
Box he goes, Captain Zinchenko.
The truth is, guys, the match at the Emirates between both teams will be a tactical showdown. It will come down to the small details too, and that's because both Arsenal and Liverpool now have similar ideas on how they want to play. They both want to control the ball, both want to push high up, both will attempt to play from the back with ball-playing goalkeepers, make use of ball-playing centre-backs, and they'll work hard as a unit in midfield. We can expect Arsenal to find defensive solutions to Liverpool's threat down the wings. Seems Mikel Arteta already figured that out, because in this area, he's got an array of options to choose from. Alongside Jurrien Timber, who also feels like a new signing due to the ACL injury he picked up from last season, Arteta's defensive options give him different solutions to different problems. In the big game so far this season, Mikel Arteta's game plan has worked to a very large extent. We almost saw him pull off the result of the season versus Manchester City at the Etihad before conceding late to get a 2-2 draw. Got a convincing 2-0 win against PSG at the Emirates, a win against Spurs as well. Mikel Arteta's plan to stifle the opposition in big games and hit them with well-timed routines has worked a treat so far, and we can expect more of the same at Anfield. Ultimately, it comes down to the players he decides to put on against Liverpool, and from this angle, Arteta can mix it up. It's expected to be a very physical battle in midfield, and depending on whatever combination he chooses, Arteta can decide to mix it with either hard-hitting players in midfield, or options like Jorginho to control the game. If he does have to rely on a game-winning option from off the bench, he might just pick a guy who has done it before versus Liverpool. Leandro Trossard adds a different dimension to Arsenal's attack. He can play anywhere across the front three, and this makes him difficult to pick up or get man-marked. On their turf, Arsenal will look to establish dominance from the start. It's clear, Arteta's Arsenal team may have looked shaky in recent weeks, but against one of the toughest teams in the league, you can expect Arsenal's A-game to be on display. And in this regard, the diverse amount of tactics and game changes in Arteta's team might just prove to be the difference against Slot's Liverpool. What do you think? Will Liverpool have too much for Arteta's team? Or will Arsenal probably get another red card and blow it again? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video too. See you next time.